in terms of self-publishing, when you're doing everything alone, not just the writing, but the visuals, the putting together of the story, even with a team that helps you, you are ultimately responsible. So you can feel that overwhelm of being alone, and the entire weight of your story and how good it is on your shoulders. I find that that can be a beautiful thing too, in the sense that if you have this standard inside yourself where you, as long as it's not that voice of you're never good enough, but it's more of that voice of, okay, I know what is good. How can I make it that good? How can I develop my writing to be as good as I want it to be? If you have that kind of standard, you have the opportunity to really develop and go back to those stories from before and redevelop them and keep growing. So it's much more hands-on. That's the good aspect of it. But there are days where you also feel, that it's all on you and that nothing feels good and there's no direction to go and it's just crappy writing and you're just crap, and those days are hard and you have to just keep going through them and know, this too will change. And it usually does. Your perspective does change. And I always find that when I'm going through a phase like that, sometimes putting the project aside for a little bit and just letting it sit and moving on to something else can help, because when I go back to the project, I have fresh eyes and not such a hard taskmaster. So it's finding the balance, because it is important to have standards. It's important to constantly want to grow and develop. And it's also important not to listen to that critic that can just pull yourself down and tear yourself down and not see the wood for the trees or see and allow your development. So I think it is that part of self-publishing, of everything being on you and you having to play so many different roles, that makes it the most tricky, and feeling that you are doing it alone in many ways.